Hi guys, I'm back with another video. I need to stop this, not playing mood. Okay, so y'all, it is like 1 in the morning, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it's 1 in the morning or 12. And I've been wanting to talk about this for so long, but I've been trying to stop myself from talking about it. I was crying a couple minutes ago. I mean, I cry all the time. That's the way of me healing. I'm still healing. This is the last video that I'm gonna be bringing up this situation. I won't be bringing it up no more because it's exhausting to even think about. But it's also peaceful in a way because I don't feel those feelings anymore like I did before. I'm talking about my previous relationship that I was in a couple months ago, right? I said I wasn't gonna say nothing about this because it affected me in a way that I can't even, like, I wouldn't even put this type of pain that I went through on anyone. Like, I wouldn't put this on my worst enemy, the pain that I endured. Me and him broke up or whatever, cool. I said I wasn't gonna do a story time, but it's necessarily not a story time. It's me closing a chapter of that situation for me because I am getting over it, but it was like I spent like the best days of my life with that person, right? Cool. I spent like so many beautiful days with him. And I also have endured a lot of pain also, but I cannot just blame him for how I feel. But I can also say the last days of us dating was like the worst feeling I could ever feel as a human. I was admitted into the hospital around August because I was trying to take my own life, because in a sense, if you're a outsider looking in, it's like, oh, she tried to kill herself because her boyfriend broke up with her, which that is kind of the narrative, but it's not the narrative. I was basically fighting for my life for over, it's so many months that I was fighting for it after I graduated high school. I was fighting for my life. It was really hard on me, and I had to stop a lot of things. I am on medication now, as I already told y'all. My antidepressants and anxiety pills. I have come to the conclusion that I am healing pretty much, because when people do bring up his name, I used to have a lot of anxiety, but now it's not as much because his memory is kind of fading, which I didn't want to happen, but what do you do? I was in a lot of pain after I got out the hospital, and the only person I was thinking about was him. I'ma blame both of us, because both of us was in a relationship. We both made an agreement to get in a relationship with each other, and I don't want to put any like type of pain or hurt on him, because I told him the last time I spoke to him, I forgive you for the things that you don't know about, the things that I endured in those times where you went on with your life and I couldn't. After I got the hospital, it was very hard for me. It was really hard. I just got broken up with. Can't say it's kind of his fault, but it's both of our faults. I feel like I was asking too much for him, and I guess it wasn't enough for him. Like it was like he couldn't do what he wanted to do, and it was a lot of blaming, basically me forcing him to date me, and it was just too much. But like I said, I have forgive him for everything, and I don't have a problem with him. I will always think of him. He's always on my mind, but he's not the first thing on my mind. Some nights I cry really, really hard because I just be so hurt. Like, I gotta start all over. Like, now I gotta focus on my healing journey all over again. I gotta do it again. I'm so tired. I feel like he was definitely right. Like, we have to learn to love ourselves before we can love someone else. But it kind of hurted me that he would say such things as, I just don't want to be in a relationship. But in the meaning of it, he didn't want to be in a relationship with me. And now I understand that. And now I know some people just can't handle being alone. And I thought I couldn't handle. I never thought that I would be able to move on as much as I did before, because it was really hard for me at the beginning. It was really hard. Like, I would did anything for him to talk to me again. But in some sense, I wanted y'all to hear my vulnerable side, because I'm vulnerable all the time. But it's some things that keep me up at night, and it shouldn't. I'm getting back where I was at, but I still have visions of that night. I tried to attempt to take my life twice in the same day. And I hate that I put my parents in it. But I have to recover. My family have to recover after the things they seen me do to myself, because I was so low. I came to the conclusion that, hey, if you do this, it's a permanent thing. You ain't coming back from this. You ain't coming back. So I made the choice. I didn't care about nobody's feelings but mine, and I knew that my pain and suffering would like not be here anymore. It would end, but it would not end for everybody else. I don't know. It's just like a thing that comes and goes. Before all of this, y'all, within June and July, I wanted to go to the therapist and see a therapist about it, because I was having thoughts about it anyway. I was literally, and that was the saddest thing I could ever think about, I was fighting for my life while I was with him. All the time I was with him, I was fighting for my life. I was fighting to stay up in the morning. I sleep 24/7. I don't have a job. I don't have anything. He was my light. And I made him the main focus of my life. And that made me learn something. Don't make a person your priority when they not your, when you are not theirs. That's something that I had to understand. I'm getting better. No shade, you see me crying, but I have to cry because that is kind of it's basically me healing and me recovering from everything. I cry a lot. I have opened up about this on my TikTok account about how hurt I am. And honestly, my hurt is still here. My heart is still broken, but it's just hard. It's very hard. I had to step away from college. I couldn't register. I couldn't go because at that time I was in the hospital and I was basically on meds, and I had to just step away. So I'm basically just taking a little break into next year until I get myself better. And I want to get myself better for myself, because people don't understand how mental health matters. It matters in somebody's life. It matters, and you need to take it serious, because it really does matter. Like, honestly, it really does matter in a sense. Um, like I told y'all, I wouldn't put that type of pain on anybody. The things that I endured that day. Not only that I tried to take my life twice, but my boyfriend broke up with me. But in a sense, y'all, I had to understand is I planned everything out of my head. Like, I already knew, but I didn't know that I was gonna take it as hard as I took it. Like, I already knew that. Like, I'm a placeholder, and I always will tell him that. Like, I'm a placeholder. You know, I'm just here for the moment. And I stopped thinking about being a placeholder, and I actually tried to enjoy the relationship, and I was happy. Cause I knew like one day this gonna end. Like how we started off wrong in the first place. So one day it will end, and I didn't know that it was gonna hurt me as much as it did. I thought I was teaching myself. I was basically like teaching myself like, okay, you know, this gonna happen one day, so you have to be prepared. And I didn't know that it was gonna take the way it went. The last time I spoke to him was like a couple months ago. Um, like that whole situation affected me, and it was the crazy part that he gets to move on. He gets to be happy. He gets to live his life while I'm healing from the things that he said to me, and the things that he told me. But I can always say he told me I don't want to hurt you anymore. And I heard that, and I didn't care because I just wanted to be with him. I didn't care that he wanted to hurt me because he hurt me multiple times. I didn't care. I just wanted to be with him. And that's my fucking fault. That's my fault. That's my fault. It's not his. I was too deep in a relationship. And the crazy thing about this is, y'all, like after all of this happened, I still have faith in finding love in somebody one day. I'm not letting this situation, because this year was the worst day of it was the worst year of my life. It was like the bittersweet. I graduated this year. I had a boyfriend for 8 months, and I accomplished, as I thought, many things. But to sit back and start all over again, who wants to do that? I kind of closed myself off from everybody. I'm kind of in my own world, and I try not to be so closed out, but it's so hard because I'd rather be alone, so I don't have to have the responsibilities that come with relationships and friendships and talking. I don't want to have that responsibility, so I stay to myself. It's just a lot that because I had this in my I had this in my notes for so long that I was going to talk about it, but I never talked about it until tonight, because I have emotions where I just would cry. Like, I just would be so hurt by the truth, because he told me the truth. And that's another thing. That's another one thing you need to understand. When a person say they don't want you, and they keep telling you, and you keep going for it, you're going to hurt yourself at the end. You're going to definitely hurt yourself. It's definitely a process that I'm getting out of. I'm focused on my YouTube channel. I'm focused on getting myself better. I'm focusing on makeup. I'm focusing on not being depressed and not hating my life. Because at that time, in that time of my life, I hated being here. Like, being here was so painful. Like, it's like, do if you do and do if you don't. Like, it's literally that. Like, if you off yourself, You're hurting people that's here. And if you don't hurt yourself, you fighting for your life. And that was the thing. I think about them all the time. I do. I can't even hold you. I do. I think of them. I miss them. But you can miss a person from a distance. That's what I learned. You can love them and you can miss them from a distance. You ain't gotta have them in your life. But I just kind of wished that he wasn't temporarily in my life, because I was so happy with him. I wish a lot of people wasn't temporarily in my life, but I'm not gonna let this other breakup mess me over from finding somebody new. I still have faith in people. I still got faith in people. I know that I will get treated right one day, and I'm not gonna run and look for them. I want them to come find me. It's very emotional, my life and everything, and that's why I took a break off of YouTube. As you can see in one of the videos, that was like a month or 2 months before we broke up. I said I was gonna take a break off of YouTube because I was registering for college that I was going to attend to until this situation happened, and I had to kind of just put it behind me until I could try to go outside again. Or every time I go outside, I get anxious. My room is my safe haven. Like, this is all I have. But I hope y'all understand. You need to please, if you feel suicidal in any way, please contact somebody. Please try your hardest to contact somebody. Because I did. I contacted somebody that night. But waking up in the morning, that type of pain, I wouldn't put that on no soul. That's some shit I would never want to. I don't want that. I would never put that on anybody. Because my heart was just hurting every day, waking up in the morning. Because it was temporarily. Everything is temporarily now. It was so temporarily. I didn't want it to be temporarily. I'm still crying over it after 5 months. Because I feel like the things that I experienced, I will get over it one day, but I wish it would come already. Like, I wish that day would come. I really wish that day would come. Because the pain of healing is something so different. Like, it's just, it feels so different, because some days you are healed and some days it's like this. I'm crying about this situation because only if y'all knew the things that happened, like the crazy things that happened in my life within that time, and I'm still trying to be a positive person. I still have a goal on YouTube. YouTube is my goal now. My goal is to make it somewhere out of this YouTube channel. I honestly don't know. I hope y'all can. I don't want sympathy. I don't want none of that. I just want to let people know that mental health is real, and a relationship can take your life. I almost died within this relationship that I had. I literally almost died, and that's something that I always have to think about. But I'm getting better. I'm smiling even more now. I don't think too hard. You know, I'm just going on with life as I can, as I try to. But I hope y'all understand that I'm great. I'm okay. It's just sometimes you need to let your feelings out some way, somehow.